Discover Asia truly. Are you ready to hashtag Discover Asia? Asia is not just a small dot on the world map. It's a living, breathing mosaic woven with thousands of cultural threads. It's a place where the past and present exist side by side, where a 1,000-year-old temple can quietly sit next to a glass and steel skyscraper. Asia doesn't rush to impress you. It's not loud like an advertisement. It welcomes you gently, with depth, with layers. You won't truly see it in a quick sightseeing tour, or through a few beautiful photos on social media. To truly explore Asia, you must slow down, pause, look up, and open your heart to feel. You'll witness moments like these. A street vendor softly placing a bag of warm pastries in your hands, no words needed. An elderly woman walking her grandchild past an old temple, incense in hand, eyes speaking silently to her ancestors. A driver who smiles, helping you across the street, not expecting a tip, just hoping you'll see the beauty of where you are. Asia doesn't ask you to know everything. It simply asks you to be curious and sincere. So be ready to notice, to listen, and most importantly. Part 1. Hidden Cities and Local Life. When people think of Asia, they often picture the famous Bangkok's golden temples, Tokyo's neon skyline, Singapore's futuristic perfection. But hashtag Discover Asia isn't just about the places everyone visits. It's also about the ones that few people notice, but are absolutely worth your time. Forget the typical tourist checklists. Forget the must-see photo stops. Real discovery begins when you turn into a quiet alley that Google Maps doesn't name. When you pause at a tiny food cart with no crowd, but the aroma makes you stop in your tracks. You might slowly cycle through Hanoi's old quarter, where tiled rooftops stack like puzzles, electric wires tangle like jungle vines, and street vendors chant their morning calls like a citywide heartbeat. Or you rise before dawn in the Mekong Delta, watching light stretch across the muddy river, while fishermen cast their nets into foggy silence. They're not waiting for your camera. They're just living the same way their ancestors did for generations. In Kyoto, you walk along narrow wooden lanes, incense drifting from a quiet shrine, the rustle of leaves telling stories louder than words. In Penang, as night falls, the street markets burst into life. The hiss of frying oil, the hum of bargaining voices, the pulse of music. It's not chaos, it's a symphony of local life. These places aren't flashy, but they offer something that famous destinations sometimes lose: truth and presence. If you stay still long enough, you'll realize the most beautiful parts of Asia aren't loud or advertised. They live in the rhythm of everyday life. Small, honest, slow, and deeply human. Ancient traditions. To discover Asia is to listen to the past, while the world rushes toward the future. Many Asian cultures hold tight to traditions centuries, or even millennia old, not for display, but to stay rooted, like a red thread that ties people to their heritage, ancestors, and inner values. In Bali, you'll see hundreds of small palm leaf baskets placed at doorways. Inside, flowers, rice, sometimes a cookie with a burning stick of incense. This is the Kanong Sari offering, made every single day, not out of obligation, but out of gratitude and quiet belief that peace doesn't come from things but from reverence. In India, spring arrives like an explosion of joy. Holi festival turns streets into rainbows. Elders, children, tourists, all throwing color into the air. It's more than play. It's a celebration of light over darkness, a ritual of renewing the spirit through color. In Japan, you might be invited to a traditional tea ceremony, where every gesture is slow, precise, and full of intention. From how water is poured to how the teacup is turned, nothing is rushed. Because in tea ceremony, tea is just the medium. What matters most is presence and deep respect for the person in front of you. Asia reminds you of something modern life often forgets. Life isn't just about going forward, it's about going back. Back to what matters. Back to values that withstand time. And sometimes it's these ancient traditions that make a place unforgettable. Modern marvels. When people think of Asia, they often imagine the traditional temples, silk robes, rituals, incense smoke. But did you know? Asia is also where the future is quietly unfolding every single day. In Asia, the leap from ancient to futuristic takes just a few steps. In Singapore, you can have breakfast in a colorful heritage district, then walk 10 minutes and find yourself surrounded by glass towers that seem pulled from a sci-fi movie. Here, technology isn't just flashy, it's seamlessly woven into life. In South Korea, the pace is thrilling. Subways are lightning fast, spotless, and perfectly on time. You'll find Wi-Fi everywhere, from mountain peaks to train tunnels. Want to order food, rent a car, or see a doctor? You can do it all from your phone. Tokyo is a city that never sleeps. LED signs blaze, robots serve coffee, and bullet trains fly across the city. Yet nearby, a man carefully takes off his shoes before stepping quietly into a centuries-old shrine. Tradition and technology coexist, not in conflict, but in harmony. In China, facial recognition can pay your bills. In India, smart cities are rising faster than the world expected. In Vietnam, young startups are digitizing agriculture, education, and even ancient crafts. Asia isn't catching up to the modern world. It's defining the future in its own way, respecting its roots, while building forward with vision. Want to see what the future looks like? Come to Asia and take a look around. Cultural connections. When you travel to a distant land, what stays in your heart isn't how beautiful it was, but how you were treated. In Asia, you don't need perfect language. You don't need to memorize every custom. You just need a few small things. A gentle smile, a nod when you're offered food, a simple hello or thank you in the local tongue, and most importantly, respect. In Asia, people don't judge you by your looks. They watch how you behave, especially in the little moments. When you smile at a street vendor, when you bow before a shrine, when you try a strange dish with curiosity and care. They see it. You're here to learn, not to consume. Listen even if you don't fully understand. Because in Asia, people often speak through gestures, eyes, and quiet actions. True connection doesn't need many words, just presence. When you truly connect with the local person, even for 2 minutes on a train, or when asking for directions, you step beyond the role of tourist. You become a guest, welcomed into someone's real life. And that's what makes Asia so special. Connection doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be sincere. Summary and journey inspiration. Maybe when you started this journey, you just wanted to go somewhere new. See something different from your everyday world. But Asia gave you more than that. Asia doesn't try to impress you. It doesn't shout for your attention. It simply exists in its own quiet way. And that quietness is what lingers. You didn't just see things. You smelled incense drifting by temple gates. You tasted a dish that first felt strange, then comforting. You heard the sounds of early markets, rain on tin roofs, and children laughing after school. You didn't just visit. You truly lived even for a few fleeting moments within this world. And maybe when you leave, something inside you will shift, just a little. A bit more gratitude, a little more calm, a deeper understanding of people, of rhythm, of yourself. Hashtag Discover Asia doesn't end at your final stop. It begins each time you choose to slow down. Each time you ask a new question. Each time you see something ordinary and find it quietly beautiful. And if you're still watching this now, maybe Asia has already touched you. And maybe in your own quiet way, you've touched Asia too. Thank you for not just passing through, but for pausing, seeing, listening, and feeling.